E-Moneybags, firm, baby. Queens in the house, representing the firm. That's enough. If it ain't rough, it ain't right. You know how I go.
And he came to me, he said, Bim, that wasn't for Just. Just like that. He said that wasn't for Just. I just looked at him, man, and I say, E, that is Just. He's dead. I know he didn't mean to kill Just.
Why was E-Moneybags gunned down in broad daylight like a marked man? Some say it was rat beef, others say blame the street. Federal prosecutors had a clearer answer: revenge, gang loyalty, and Kenneth Supreme McGriff's deadly wrath. Now, the truth behind the most brutal in the game goes deeper than mixtapes, rivalries, or industry music gossip.
It got to the point where they had an argument in person, and then he pulled out a gun to shoot Supreme and ended up shooting. Well, he pulled out a gun, fired some rounds. I don't know what his intentions were.
Eric Smith, better known as E-Moneybags, is a Queens-born rapper who happened to have attended the same high school as legendary rappers the Notorious B.I.G., Jay-Z, and Busta Rhymes. Weston House, if you from Brooklyn, you know Weston House. That's what we say. That's what we call it. Yes, Weston House High School located in Brooklyn. Now, E-Money was also friends with Biggie.
Well, E-Moneybags was a rapper, I guess from Queens?
Right, he was from Queens. He's originally from Brooklyn, some of the projects.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and I guess he went to school with Jay-Z?
Right, they went to Weston House together.
You heard about E? You heard about E?
You better ask.
Stop your underground rough house shit on me. Stop your shit on him, son.
Oh,
Underground rough house. Niggas gonna know about E.
But Bags didn't really get his name from rap. He made his name in the streets. He was deep in it, doing whatever it took to survive and come up. From selling drugs to sticking people up, running extortion moves, and even rumors of murder. He built a serious reputation, and both his people and his rivals knew not to play with him.
There's Troy, Big Nose Troy, Homo, and E-Moneybags. Those are the three amigos. Those guys are dangerous. When they come for you, well,
Black Just isn't part of that list?
Black Just is, rest in peace to him.
Yeah.
Black Just is, he's a separate entity.
E-Moneybags got into hip-hop from being around Queensbridge legends like Nas, Capone, and Noriega. But it was Prodigy and Mobb Deep who pulled him deeper into the scene. Prodigy wasn't just a rap link, though he became a close homie with E. Prodigy and Bags would go on to turn beef with Jay-Z over different reasons. The J and E-Moneybags beef kicked off over something Hov said about Rockaware that E didn't take kindly to. But the beef would only escalate when Prodigy heard Jay and his crew dissing him on Hot 97. But it wasn't only that, because apparently Jay had signed a rapper by the name of H-Moneybags, who was also on air. For E-Moneybags, hearing a rapper bearing a name that was almost similar to his got him mad and upset with Jay.
I guess Jay-Z and the Rockefeller crew were on the radio, and I guess that there was someone up there they mentioned called H-Moneybags.
Yeah, he's from Marcy.
Okay, so you know who that is.
Mm-hmm.
But they called him H-Moneybags,
right?
Which E-Moneybags took offense to.
Right. E-Money would later settle his beef with Jay, especially since he had bigger fish to fry in the streets, with one of them being the notorious Kenneth Supreme McGriff. Supreme wasn't just some street thug, he was a legend in Queens' drug scene. In the 80s and 90s, he ran the Supreme Team, a ruthless crack empire that pulled in $200,000 a day and left bodies in its wake.
Dark-skinned nigga with green eyes. See that? Black as hell with green eyes. Look like hell in it. So, right? So, you got Chaz, you know what I'm saying? We was around all that.
The situation between Bags and Supreme didn't start out as anything crazy. It all began with the car deal, a regular street hustle. E-Moneybags put down $1,000 deposit with a woman named Z, who was connected to Supreme's people. The deal was for a tag car, meaning it was stolen but dressed up with fake paperwork so it could pass as clean.
Before I gave Bags money for the song he did for my Murder Music soundtrack, he was planning to buy a tag car from this girl named Z, who went to my grandmother's dance school and sold tag cars for Supreme.
A real crazy situation ended up happening. in Queens, where I guess him and Supreme got into some sort of, argument over some money, over a car or something like that.
Over $1,000.
Over $1,000.
At first, Bags was cool with that, but not long after, he got a $2,500 payout from Prodigy of Mobb Deep for some music work. That money made him switch gears. Now that he had some clean cash in hand, he wanted to do things the legit way. Instead of risking his neck with the hot rod, he wanted a real official car, a silver Lincoln Navigator. So he went back to Z and asked for his $1,000 back.
Bags gave Z $1,000 for a down payment, but when he got the $2,500 from me, he decided he wanted his money back to get a legit car, a Navigator, instead.
Z told him straight up that she couldn't return the money. She said Supreme told her not to give it back. That was the moment everything shifted, because E-Moneybags wasn't about to let this just slide. He pulled up on Supreme's Land Rover outside the Coliseum Mall in Jamaica, Queens. When the moment came, he opened fire at the vehicle. Supreme was behind the wheel that day, but he wasn't alone. In the passenger seat was his right-hand man, Colbert. Black just caught the bullets and died on his way to the hospital.
E-Moneybags wanted to kill Supreme, so he pulled up on him and shot the car up, and ended up killing Black Just, who was a big figure in Queens.
Yeah, I heard something like that.
And that hit just cut deep. Black Just wasn't just some regular dude, he was family to Supreme. This was a man who had held things down while Supreme was locked up, helped hold the crew together, and stayed loyal through all the chaos. As for E-Moneybags, he felt kind of remorseful, especially since he wasn't going for Black Just.
And he came to me, he said, Bim, that wasn't for Just. Just like that. He said that wasn't for Just. And I just looked at him, man, and I said, E, that is Just. He's dead.
And Supreme wasn't just about to sit back and take that kind of loss. Word on the street was that Supreme had put a hit on Bags for 50 grand. And on July 16th, 2001, it finally went down. E-Moneybags was at a barbecue in Queens, just chilling outside in his silver Navigator. And out of nowhere, a 4-man hit team who had been watching him for days came out of nowhere. They pulled up on him, just sprayed all over the place. I mean, bullets was ripping through the truck and through Moneybags. Damn, he died instantly right there on the spot.
And actually, E-Moneybags gets killed outside of his house during a barbecue. And there's basically E sitting in his truck, and the family who's having a barbecue at this house, and they're bringing food back and forth, and he wasn't paying attention, he wasn't looking in his mirrors, and she guided the hit team in to kill him.
E-Moneybags' death was straight up contract killing, but it gets even crazier. Just a month after Bags got taken out, the FBI hit a stash spot in Baltimore that was connected to Supreme. When they raided the place, they found the usual street stuff, from bricks of heroin to $30,000 in cash. But then they came across something unexpected, a dusty old VHS tape.
And they set up the scene. They find out that they were going to an apartment there. They get a search warrant for the apartment and find, amongst other things, drug paraphernalia, but Supreme's personal effects. And one of those things was a VHS cassette.
Now, this wasn't just some random tape. When the feds played it, they were shocked. It was footage of E-Moneybags alive being secretly filmed from a distance. It looked like someone had been tracking Bags' every move just days before he got killed. Turns out, the person behind the camera was the girlfriend of one of Supreme's most trusted enforcers. She had been recording Bags from the window of her apartment in Queens, just a few blocks from where everything later went down. She wasn't just watching, she was documenting his schedule, his habits, what time he pulled up, basically everything. It was like watching a hit list being built in real time.
And a girl's on the phone who's working with the hitman, giving him up. He's there now, get over here now. And so a search warrant that was done down in Baltimore. Yeah. We actually found a tape that she had where she was bringing the guys in and she was filming it. And just before they get there, she's going, hurry up, he's gonna leave soon, get here. And she's got this camera pointed out the window in front of Stretch's old house and Madge's house, filming it. And then just as they start to pull up, she gets scared and she drops to the ground and hides.
After investigations were made, it turned out that the recording of E-Money's death was made for Supreme to watch personally. He had ordered the tape recording for his own pleasure.
So this shooting happens. Black Just gets killed. Supreme doesn't get hit. So you talked about how after that, Supreme wanted E-Moneybags dead.
Yes, amongst other people, yeah.
And not only did he want him dead, but he wanted it filmed.
By early 2007, Supreme was on trial in federal court for racketeering and murder for hire. The case focused heavily on the hit on E-Moneybags. Supreme got a life sentence for the murder of not just Bags, but also a certain big-nosed Troy Singleton, who happened to be E-Money's guy. But out in the streets and in hip-hop circles, people were still talking. Some believed the whole thing wasn't just about a car deal or even the death of Black Just.
These guys is good guys to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't, how it mixed up, how I got to that, I don't know how I got to that.
Some people will point to the origin of their beef, stating the fact that E-Money was close to 50 Cent. And this was around the time 50 had dropped that track, Ghetto Quran, where he mentioned Supreme by name. And some folks believe that even being in that circle made E-Money a target, even if 50 didn't have anything directly to do with it. Now, as for the cops and prosecutors, they're not even trying to hear or buy that theory. To them, it was drug turf business. They saw E-Moneybags as a rival in the drug game, and Supreme's crew had him taken out to keep control. And it was labeled just that, gang violence and not hip-hop beef like some people was trying to spin it. But still, for those watching on the outside, it did not feel that simple. I mean, the connections, the timing, and the people involved made a lot of people think that it was more than just some street shit. But officially it stayed in the books as a gang hit. Damn, y'all, we gotta stop the violence. Come on. But you can stop right now. Tell me about this story. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. And guess what else y'all also can do? Check out the merch. Hit that button too. Until next time, peace and blessings, y'all.